couple of minutes' time. Now, this time of the week, every Thursday afternoon, we put your questions, all your queries, to one of our experts. And this week, it's travel journalist Eoghan Corry, who is with us on the show. Eoghan.
Good afternoon, Andrea.
Same to you, yeah. 53106 if you have a query for Eoghan today. This listener booked a trip to mainland Spain at the end of this month. Really concerned, should we cancel?
No, Spain is operating, it's a little bit more complicated than it was before, but all one you need for Spain is your locator form. Numbers have been rising, obviously, not just here, but all through Europe. Every Thursday you can download the Europeans CDC map, and it's ecdceuropa.eu is the website. They update the map every Thursday. What I notice is they haven't been updating the 14-day cumulative figures, which is what it's based on. So, you can be pretty sure that Spain's figures are rising, but the quarantine and all of those sort of laws have been relaxed as they have been across Europe. And the key to Spain is no test required. Portugal requires a test if you're flying in. Spain does not.
And is that the Canaries and Lanzarote as well?
Absolutely. Canaries, Lanzarote. Now, there is an initiative among the hoteliers in the Canaries that they were requiring testing. So do check individually with your hotel, but nationally the policy is some regions there's a variation in curfews, lockdowns, masking, all of that. Catalonia, Barcelona is a little bit more strict, for instance, than Madrid. But the pattern from the start of this, and we're well into 2 years of this, is that holiday resort places, there tend to be more open air, beachy, things like that. The high rates of COVID that you see in the suburbs of the big cities, you don't see them in the holiday resorty areas. Make your own decision on whether you cancel or not. But my feeling is that unless the health authorities come out and say, don't travel, continue to travel, and this has ramifications for your cancellation as well from the airline and insurance point of view. If you decide not to go, you don't get your money back.
Maria's wondering, can you ask the travel expert about entering Italy? I have a flight booked for this Tuesday to Venice. What do I need?
You need a test for Italy at the moment. I'll name the countries that you need a test for. You need Portugal, you need Italy, you need Greece and Cyprus. They always do things together, as we know from the Eurovision Song Contest. And we need you will need the Baltics countries, some of the Baltic countries, and you will need Scandinavia. Now, each individual country has a different set of circumstances where you need testing or not, and very often it changes week to week on what they call the dark red countries on that ECDC map. That's pretty important, ecdc.europa.eu. And there's another website I'll have a look into, reopen.europa.eu. We're only talking about travel within the European Union for all the information on that. It is updated frequently because it feeds into the health system of the different countries. Back to the question, you'll need your locator form for Italy. You'll need your test before you travel. It can be antigen, 48 hours for antigen, and you will obviously need your European COVID cert. To simplify it to its barest, before COVID broke out, Andre, we needed boarding pass and passport. We now need boarding pass, passport, and our EU digital cert and a locator form as well. In general, four pieces of documentation where 2 used to suffice: boarding pass, passport. Now it's boarding pass, passport, locator form, which is really important, and a certificate, which is central to all our existence since it arrived in our phone last July. Yeah. 4 or 5 countries need a test as well. They're Portugal, Italy, Greece, Cyprus, and some of the others.
On that test, when you say an antigen test, is it the one you do at home?
No, generally, they need it medically certified, which means a pharmacy or a doctor, medical. Yeah, okay. And the RockDoc and Randox have facilities at the airport. There's a big difference between them in terms of the the speed of delivery. The PCR test, generally you do the day before and you get the email overnight. The antigen can be done in the airport. A lot of people are doing that.
Now, this texter, top tips for someone who's just discovered that their child's passport has expired and they have a flight in 2 weeks.
It's a big problem because there's a little bit of a backlog. You can book the emergency passport service again, and you let them know when your flight is, and they have been very, very good at meeting that requirement. It can be a little bit stressful, particularly when you're applying for a child's passport. You normally have to deliver your parents' passports in as part of that application. There have been cases where the child's passport has arrived back and the parent is still waiting for their support documentation back and leave waiting. But everybody I know who has come up with a date that we need to get away quickly has got it. The Passport Service, under pressure, don't give them get in as early as you possible. You do all you need, by the way, when your child is born is the fact he's born, the birth cert, all of that. People have sometimes been caught waiting for PPS numbers and things like that. Get the application in as soon as the child is born, with the Passport Office under pressure at the moment.
This listener, Owen, myself and my wife had a trip to Greece in December. 3 days before we were due to travel, she registered a positive test. We could therefore not go. Ryanair refusing to refund or give credit as it was not a life-threatening illness. Is there any other avenue?
Travel insurance is there for that. You can't really treat the airline as an insurance of last resort. When you book a flight, you can get you really you can't expect the airline to cough up the money if you fail a test or you turn up a positive test. The way around it is the travel insurance policies backed off at the start of this COVID. They were really uncertain as to what the liability for COVID was, but I noticed a lot of them have put COVID positive test as part of the general common or garden travel insurance policy. That's the €90 a year one that we all get and use for 12 months. Some of them don't. Big one that doesn't, by the way, would be VHI. It costs about 18 or 20 euro to put an extra onto it. It's really worth it at the moment, and I do notice sales of travel insurance are flying through the roof for that reason. It covers you and the immediate partner. It doesn't go if there's 20 lads going off on a trip to Santa Ponsa. It won't cover the fact that one of them gets it and none of them can travel, but certainly you and a family partner. It's not a position. The airlines are not paying out when people have positive tests.
Travel journalist Eoghan Corry. Eoghan, thanks a million for joining us.
Always a great pleasure, Andrea.
Lunchtime Live today. That's all we have time for. If you've missed any of the show, you can listen back as always. It's on the website.